The Raleigh real estate market is crazy on fire right now. Are you worried about missing out on the perfect home? Stay tuned, we've got solutions for you coming up next. Hi, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker with eXp Realty in Raleigh, North Carolina, and you've probably seen our recent video which details that Raleigh, North Carolina is the #1 real estate market right now. And because of such high demand, people are getting really frustrated that they're missing out on a lot of homes. Homes are going for way over asking price, and multiple people are bidding on the same property. So today we're sharing with you what things are like in the Raleigh market right now and what you can do when you're going up against multiple buyers who want your house. So coming up here are 9 tips you can use to win the bid against multiple buyers. Also, make sure you stay until the end of the video. We've got a tip that very few real estate agents know about, very few use, and it's one that I have used to help my buyers win against multiple other buyers more often than not. Tip number 1, be prepared. You've got to be crystal clear on what you need in your next house. You must write out a list of your must-haves and your like-to-haves, and if something comes on the market that hits 8 or 9 of your must-haves, you got to jump on that house. You got to go see it that day, be prepared to see it that day, be prepared to write an offer on it that day. And along those same lines, if you need a mortgage, make sure you've gone as far through the process as possible with your mortgage lender. Make sure you are through the pre-approval process, not just a pre-qualification, so that you are absolutely rock solid and are absolutely going to be able to afford that home and be prepared to go all the way to closing on that home. We can definitely help you with this, give you some advice on mortgage lenders if you need them, and also help you with in general with that process. Number 2 tip, be aggressive. Understand in a hot market, the list price is really just the beginning bid price. Don't expect in a hot market that you're going to get a deal or that you're going to be able to get an offer accepted that's under asking price. It very rarely happens. Be prepared to pay as much as $5,000 or even $10,000 above the asking price for this home. If you can't afford to pay $5,000 or $10,000 over asking price, maybe you need to lower your search criteria down so that you have yourself a $5,000 or $10,000 cushion so that you're able to make that extra bit of money a reality. Unfortunately, in this market right now, again, an ask price at the full list price or slightly under is simply not going to get you the winning bid on that house. Sorry to say. The number 3 tip is don't fall in love. Do not get emotionally attached to a particular home until you have won the bid, until that is officially your home under contract. As well, don't get emotionally attached to a specific neighborhood or 2 neighborhoods. You're limiting yourself to what the options are out there for your perfect home. Because inventory is so low right now, it's very difficult to say, yes, we can absolutely find you a home in this neighborhood. It just unfortunately isn't happening right now. The number 4 tip we have for you is use an appraisal addendum. Now I know this is going to get a little bit in the weeds, but it is important, so bear with me. An appraisal addendum is where basically the buyer agrees to pay the difference between what the accepted contract price is and the appraisal price. If that appraisal price that the appraiser gives on the house is less than that price of the contract, then the buyer agrees to pay that difference. Obviously, this can get quite risky, but if you've got the funds to do it, it will absolutely give you a leg up on the competition to be able to make a higher than list price offer that is accepted, and then give the sellers confidence that you're going to be able to go through with the contract as written and get all the way to the closing table. The number 5 tip we have for you is write a personal letter to the home sellers. So a lot of real estate agents are going to discourage you from doing this because it runs the risk of running up against fair housing laws. But if done properly, this can really be a successful thing because it gives you an emotional connection to the sellers. So if you've got 2 offers and you're one of them and they're pretty much the same offer, the personal letter could potentially sway things in your favor. So how do you write this personal letter? Well, the first step you want to take is as you're going through the house the first time, deciding this is the house for you, look around to see what things you have in common with these sellers. Possibly you went to the same university, college, possibly you like the same pro NFL or NBA team. Anything that you can relate to write in your personal letter to them to give yourself a familiarity or connection to them. Also, you're going to want in this letter to write about how you see this as being the perfect home for you and how you absolutely need to be close to this particular grocery store that you're a fan of, and that you love the home so much that because it is close to that grocery store, or that there's great walking trails and you love to be out and about, and how you absolutely can see yourself fitting in perfectly to this house and making this your home. Also, you want to let them know how you're going to take excellent care of the home, because a lot of sellers are concerned that the home is going to get torn down or completely changed around and it was their dream home that they bought, and you get the idea. So write a personal letter to get yourself an emotional connection to those sellers. The number 6 tip we have for you is don't ask a lot of questions. So buying a home is going to bring up a lot of questions in your mind that you're going to need to ask the sellers. The thing you don't want to do is ask 2 questions now, have 2 questions in a couple hours, 5 questions tomorrow morning, on and on and on. You get the idea. The best thing you can do is come up with all of your concerns or questions you have for that buyer and divide them into 2 lists. Things that you must absolutely know before you write an offer, and anything that you can ask after you've got an accepted offer. Ask all of the questions you need to ask that your buyer's agent, your personal agent can't get for you themselves. Ask all those questions, get them all out of the way, so that way you're confident to write an offer, and then you ask your other questions after your contract is accepted. And why is this important? Well, if there's 2 offers out there and one is an easy offer and the people have been pleasant, they haven't been needy or asking tons of nosy questions, then that offer is likely to be accepted if you're the other person that's asked all the nosy questions. So it's just basically a way for you to look as easy to work with, pleasant, simple, all of that as you can to the seller. You want to put the best face forward on the front end of the transaction. The number 7 tip we have for you: use a local lender. So there's a lot of really important reasons you want to use a local lender. And the first one that comes to my mind is that listing agent, that seller's agent, may have done a transaction with your lender in the past. And if they're a local lender and it was a good transaction, that's going to give you a leg up on the competition. As well, that lender can make a phone call to that seller's agent and either establish or reestablish rapport and be able to say, I'm available anytime that you need me, 24/7. Give me a call on my local number, as opposed to some 800 number that they're only there on Central Standard Time, whatever. They have the ability to build that rapport that a national lender or an out-of-state lender just simply can't. The number 8 tip we have for you is write a clean offer. Now, clean does not mean don't slop spaghetti sauce on the offer paperwork when you send it in. What I mean by that is don't ask for any extras. Don't ask for any closing costs, any home warranties. Don't have a home that you need to sell ahead of time before you can buy their home. That's called a contingent offer. You don't want any of that, because you're going to be putting yourself a leg down on the competition that has the simple, easy, clean offer that simply got asking price, closing date, due diligence date, all of that. Make it as simple as you possibly can. And by the way, if you do have a home that you need to sell before you can buy, contact us. We have a plan in place that can help you through that process so that you can go ahead and make an offer on your new home. And tip number 9, use an experienced agent. So typically, most of the time, you are not going to pay anything to have a real estate agent work on your behalf as your buyer's agent. And you want to hire an experienced agent that's going to be able to run the comparable numbers for the homes in that neighborhood around the home that you want to buy, so that you know you don't overpay for that home. Also, an experienced agent is going to help you communicate with the sellers and the seller's agents. Ideally, they've already had a transaction or 2 with the seller's agents in the past, had a good relationship, and they know how to communicate through the whole process to make it go so much smoother for you. And now let's get on with our bonus tip. Thank you for watching this far. We're going to reward you with a bonus tip, something that very few agents use that I have used in the past to help my buyers successfully get the home of their dream. And that tip is, have your buyer's agent call the seller's agent before you write an offer. You want to have your agent ask the seller's agent, What are the motivations of their client? Do they need to stay in the home for an extended period of time? Do they have a new construction home that's not going to be ready for 3 or 4 months? Do they need a quick close because they've got to be in California in a month? What is the motivation of the sellers? And see if you can match up to that motivation. In other words, if you've got a seller who needs to be in the home for 3 months, maybe you go ahead and close now on a regular 30-day closing schedule, but then you let them rent the home back from you for 2 months, 3 months, for $1 a month. It's a win-win because you get to secure the home of your dreams and they are able to move and go when they want to go, and they're much more likely to pick you because your agent made that phone conversation. Maybe their goal is just to get the most money possible and they don't care when they close. It's not any big deal. Well, then you need to structure your offer in that regard so that everything helps them out. But the bottom line is you want to have your buyer agent ask the seller's agent, what can we do to make this transaction a win for your sellers so that you pick my buyer's contract and offer. We hope this has been helpful for you guys. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe as always below, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the next video. This has been Chris Morton. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.